Most people do not have a money discipline problem. They have a money design problem that keeps asking for discipline. If you are new to this channel, my name is Rohit and I talk about psychological pattern, the way we live. And today's topic we are going to cover is stop trying to be disciplined with the money. That difference matters because if you diagnose the problem wrong, you keep fixing the wrong thing. You get paid, you promise yourself this month will be different. You pay the obvious bill, you feel responsible for a few days, then one mail out becomes two. One quick online order becomes five. A subscription renews, a friend invites you somewhere. You avoid checking the account for a while because you already knew the number will annoy you. Then the shame arrives. I am bad with money. I lack discipline. I know what to do, but I just do not do it. That story feels true because there is some truth inside it. Self control does not matter. A representative Swedish survey found that people with higher self control were more likely to save from each paycheck, showed better general financial behavior, felt less anxious about money, and felt more financially secure. But that does not mean every money problem is a character problem. It means self control is valuable. And because it is valuable, you should stop wasting on the same financial fight every day. Most money advice starts with a moral accusation: spend less, save more, stop buying things you do not need, be responsible, track every expense, get serious. Some of that advice is useful. The problem is not what it is always wrong. The problem is that it is often aimed at the wrong layer. It treats money behavior like a personality test. If you saved, you are disciplined. If you overspent, you are weak. If you invested, you are responsible. If you used the card again, you are careless. That story is simple. It is also incomplete. Most people are not making financial decisions in a quiet room with a calculator and a calm nervous system. They are making them while tired, hungry, stressed, distracted, embarrassed, rushed, socially pressured, surrounded by ads, and holding a phone that can turn a 5-second desire into a purchase. That is the real environment. A good money system has to survive that environment. If your plan only works when you are calm, tested, motivated, and emotionally stable, then your plan does not work. It only works on your best days, and money problems usually happen on your worst ones. This is why shame does not build control. Shame may create a short burst of strictness. It may make you delete the shopping app for a week. It may make you build an intense spreadsheet at midnight. It may make you swear that starting Monday everything changes. But shame rarely builds a system you can repeat. It makes money feel like a verdict so you can avoid looking. Then avoidance creates more damage. Then the damage creates more shame. Then the shame creates another strict plan. The cycle keeps running. Overspend, feel guilty, make a stricter plan, fail again, decide you are the problem. That is not financial growth. That is self punishment with budgeting app. The problem is too many open decisions. A weak money system leaves too many decisions open. Should I save this month? How much should I save? Can I afford this? Should I use the card? Should I order food? Should I pay extra towards debt? Should I invest now or wait? Should I check the account today? Should I cut back next week? Should I move money later? Every open decision invites negotiation, and negotiation is where your future self usually loses. Not because you do not care about the future, because the present is louder. The present has a face, the future is abstract. The present says, buy it now, you have had a hard week. The future says, it would be wise to preserve liquidity and reduce debt exposure. One of those messages is emotionally stronger. That is why I will save what is left is not a plan. It is monthly hope. Saving what is left means your future gets paid only after rent, groceries, transport, subscriptions, social pressure, tired decisions, impulse purchases, stress spending, and whatever emotional repair you tried to buy during this month. Then you reach the end and wonder why nothing is left. The system was designed that way, not intentionally but practically. If future goals receive leftovers, they will usually stay underfunded. If debt repayment is monthly debate, some months you may lose the debate. If discretionary spending has no boundary, your account balance becomes the boundary. If saving leaves If savings live in the same account as grocery as casual spending, the money has no protection. You do not need to become a perfect person. You need fewer open decisions. Money stress occupies the mind. You need to fix money. This is another reason the discipline story is incomplete. When money is tight, money takes over your attention. A bill is due, a payment is late, an account is low, an unexpected expense appears. Suddenly, your mind starts running calculation in the background. Can I delay this? What if the payment hits first? Should I use the card? Can I borrow? What happens if I wait until payday? The kind of pressure is not just emotional, it can affect the mental bandwidth available for planning and decision making. A 2024 meta analysis found an overall detrimental relationship between financial scarcity and cognitive performance. Although another 2024 Bayesian meta analysis found limited evidence for one specific Q based scarcity effect and urged caution about strong claims. So, the honest version is this: money stress can make good money decisions harder. Not impossible, harder. That distinction matters. If someone is living with constant financial pressure, telling them to just make better choices, ignores the fact that financial pressure itself can consume the mental space required to compare action, plan ahead, and resist short term relief. A person with slack can make a calm decision. A person at the edge has to make the same decision with urgency screaming in the room. That does not erase responsibility, but it changes the diagnosis. Sometimes poor money decisions are not only the cause of financial stress, they are also a consequences of it. That is why the first goal of money system is not sophistication. It is relief. You need a structure that reduces the number of moments where urgent pressure controls the decisions. The most disciplined people often rely on discipline less. This is the part most people misunderstand. The person who saves consistently may not be fighting temptation harder than you every day. They may have arranged their money so the temptation arrives later, weaker, or not at all. Their savings move automatically, their bills account is separate, their spending account has a clear boundary. Their credit card is not sitting inside every shopping app. Their emergency fund is not mixed with grocery money. Their debt payment is already scheduled. They are not waking up every morning and heroically choosing financial maturity. The system already made part of this choice. That is not weakness, that is design. Financial self control strategies have measurable support. A 2021 meta analysis of 29 studies and 12 strategies found that such strategies significantly reduce spending and increased saving with a medium effect size. That should change how you think about discipline. The point is not to become someone who can resist every temptation. The point is to build fewer temptation heavy situations. Discipline is best used once to build the structure, not daily to survive the absence of one. Automation works because it stops asking your mood. If saving becomes after spending, saving has to compete with the whole month. If saving happens on payday, saving competes with nothing. That is why automation is powerful. A recurring transfer does not care whether you feel inspired. It does not care whether the week was stressful. It does not care whether you are tired. It does not care whether you saw a good deal. It simply moves the money before your mood starts negotiating. Automatic saving policies can improve saving behavior, although recent work suggests the medium and long run effects of automatic enrollment and auto escalations may be smaller than earlier optimism is suggested because people change jobs, withdraw balances, or opt out. So, automation is not magic. It does not solve low income. It does not eliminate bad spending pattern. It does not fix every financial leak. But it does one important thing. It changes saving from a repeated decisions into a default. And default matter because repeated decisions break down under stress. If you have to choose saving 12 times a year, you have 12 chances to postpone it. If it happens automatically, you only need to review and adjust it. That is a completely different burden. The same principle applies to debt. If every month you decide whether to pay extra, the payment depends on mood, memory, and whatever else happened that month. A rule is cleaner. Every payday X go to debt, every bonus 50% go to debt, 30% to saving, 20% to guilt-free spending. Every raise, half the increase go to investing before lifestyle expand. Rules sounds boring? Good. Boring rules protect you from dramatic mistakes. A lot of budgets fail because they are designed for a fantasy person. This fantasy person tracks everything daily, never gets tired, never make emotional purchases, never forgets a bill, never underestimate food cost, and always enjoy maintaining a complex spreadsheet. That person is not you. It is not me either. A useful budget has to work when life is busy. That means it cannot depend on perfect attention. Mental accounting research show that people naturally recognize money by source, purpose, and payment method, and those categories can shape decisions about spending and saving. This can hurt you. A bonus may feel like free money. A refund may feel easier to spend than salary. A credit card may make a purchase feel less real. A small monthly payment may hide an expensive long term cost. But mental categories can also help you. Bills, spending, emergency fund, debt, investing, annual expenses, guilt free spending. Those buckets create boundaries. The point is not to become perfectly rational. The point is to use predictable irrationality in your favor. You already treat money differently depending on where it came from and what it is for. So make our categories intentional. Do not let every rupee or dollar sit in one big emotional soup called available money. Because if all money feels available, goal have no protection. Bills money should not mix with spending money. One of the simplest money design changes is also one of the most powerful. Separate accounts by job. Your bills money should not sit in the same place as your casual spending money. When everything is in one account, the balance lies to you. You see money and feel safe, but part of that money already belongs to rent, utilities, debt, subscriptions, insurance, school fees, tax, or some payment that has not arrived yet. The balance says you have money, the calendar says not really. That mismatch creates confusion. So split the jobs. One account for bills and fixed commitments. One account for everyday spending. One place for emergency saving. One place for longer term goals, investing or debt payoff if needed. When income arrives, bills money moves first. then saving or debt, then spending. Now, spending account tells a cleaner truth. If there is money there, it is actually available for the category it serves. It reduces This reduces guilt too. You can spend from spending account without intentionally cross-examining yourself every time. The important money has already been protected. That is the purpose of the system. It does not only stop overspending, it reduces mental noise. Guilt free spending is not a luxury category. A lot of people make their financial plans too strict. They remove all enjoyment, no eating out, no fun purchases, no hobbies, no clothes, no gift, no small pleasures. Just bills, debt, saving, and suffering. That plan feels responsible for about 6 days. Then pressure builds. You feel deprived. You rebel. The spending comes back harder. Then you feel guilty and make the next plan even stricter. This is not financial discipline. It is binge restricted behavior applied to money. A good money system needs a guilt free spending category, not because pleasure is the highest value, because pretending pleasures does not exist makes the plan fragile. Give enjoyment a boundary, you can spend this amount without guilt. When it is gone, it is gone. Then boundary creates both freedom and constraints. Without the category, every fun purchase feel like failure. With the category, fun becomes part of the architecture. This matters because a system you resent will not last. A realistic plan beat a strict plan that collapses every month. Frictionless spending is not neutral. Modern spending is designed to move pauses, one tap, one click, saved card, auto filled address, buy now, pay later. No cash leaving your hand, no immediate pain, no visible trade off. The easier spending becomes, the more your system has to compensate. Research on payment methods and mental accounting often discuss how credit cards and less tangible payment forms can reduce the psychological pain of paying, which can change spending behavior. That does not mean credit cards are evil. It means they are powerful tools with design effects. If you use them intentionally, pay them off, track spending, and benefit from protections or rewards, fine. But if they make spending feel invisible, they are not neutral for you. The same applies to shopping apps. The same applies to buy now, pay later. The same applies to saved payment details. If spending is frictionless and saving is effortful, discipline is fighting a bad user interface. Change the interface, remove safeguards from problem apps, delete shopping apps during a reset period, use a 24-hour rule above a certain amount, make discretionary purchase manual, check the account before buying, keep a pattern wanted list, and review it once in a week instead of buying in the moment. None of this requires you to hate spending, it simply puts space between desires and action. And space changes decisions. The 24-hour rule is not about waiting. A waiting rule is not only about time, it is about state change. The person who wants the thing at 11:40 p.m. after a stressful day is not always the same decision maker who reviews it with next afternoon. The desire may still be there, good. Then buy it if it fits the plan. But often the desires disappears. That tells you something. You did not want the item. You wanted the state change. You wanted relief. You wanted novelty, control, or reward. You wanted to feel like the day gave you something. That is not a moral failure. It is useful data. Financial self control strategies work partly because they change the conditions around the decision instead of relying only on willpower inside the hottest moment. A waiting period cools the decisions. It lets the purchase complete with your actual priorities instead of your temporary mood. That is why the rule should be specific. Any non essential purchase above X waits 24 hours. Any luxury purchase above Y requires checking the monthly plan first. Any big purchase gets compared with total cost, not only monthly payment. Specific rule beats vague intentions. I will spend less is too soft. If it is above 5,000, I will wait 24 hours and check the plan is real. Stop letting money payments hide total cost. One subtle money trap is the comfort of the monthly number. A purchase feels manageable if the monthly payment feels manageable. But the monthly payment is not the full truth. The full truth includes total cost, interest, duration, opportunity cost, and what that payment prevents. A lower monthly payment can feel responsible while quietly extending the debt and increasing the total cost. That does not mean every longer term loan is bad. Sometimes cash flow matters. Sometimes a lower payment is necessary. But if you only ask, can I afford this monthly? You may miss the better question. What is this actually costing me? Monthly comfort can become expensive. This is especially dangerous because it feels practical. You are not being reckless, you are making the payment fit. But fit is not the same as wise. The system needs a total cost checkpoint. Before taking any loan or finance purchase, write three numbers: monthly payment, total amount paid, number of months you are committed. Look at all three. If the purchase still makes sense, fine. At least you saw the real trade. Financial education helps, but it does not finish the job. There is lazy idea that financial education does not work. That is too broad. A meta-analysis of 75 randomized experiments involving more than 1,60,000 participants found that financial education programs improved financial knowledge and downstream financial behaviors on average. So, yes, learn, understand interest, debt, investing, cash flow, emergency fund, insurance, the real cost of borrowing, understand how taxes affect your actual income. But do not confuse understanding with execution. Knowing credit card debt is expensive does not remove saved card from shopping apps. Knowing investing matters does not create an automatic transfer. Knowing budgets are useful does not make you open the tracker when you are ashamed. Knowledge gives you better option. A system makes the better option easier when you are tired. You need both. Education without architecture becomes another thing you know but do not know. Architecture without education can become blind automation. Together they work better. If the math does not work, discipline cannot rescue it. There is one place where self help money advice becomes dishonest. It pretends every financial problem can be solved by better habits. No, if reliable income is lower than necessary expenses, discipline cannot erase the arithmetic. A person cannot budget their way out of permanent structural gap where basic life costs more than the money coming in. They can reduce waste, they can avoid penalties, they can use categories, they can add friction, they can automate small amounts, they can build awareness. But if the gap remains negative, the problem is bigger than spending behavior. It may be income, fixed cost, debt burden, medical expenses, family obligations, unstable work, housing, transportation, childcare, taxes. Good money does not pretend these constraints are fake. It makes them visible. That is useful because visibility tells you what kind of problem you have. If spending is leaking, you need boundaries. If bills are mismatched, you need a calendar and buffer. If subscriptions are quietly draining you, you need cancellation and review. If income is too low, you need income strategy, cost reduction, support, restructuring, or a longer timeline. Different problems need different solution. Calling all of them lack of discipline is lazy diagnosis. Start with actual month. Before you build anything, Look at the month you are already living. Not the ideal version, the real one. Open every place money moves: bank accounts, cards, payment apps, savings, loans, business accounts if relevant. Look back 60 to 90 days if you can. You are not looking to shame yourself, you are collecting facts. List recurring payment first. Name, amount, billing date, payment method, categories, decision. Keep, cancel, reduce, review. That decision column matters because awareness without decision becomes another form of delay. If you forgot about it, cancel it. If you use it and value it, if it matters but cost you too much, reduce it. If you are unsure, set a review date. A review without a date is a polite way of doing nothing. Then add fixed cost: housing, utilities, phones, internet, insurance, debt payment, school fees, transportation, childcare, medical taxes, anything predictable. Now put the dates on a calendar. This matters because a month can be affordable in total and still stressful in timing. If too many payments hit before payday, you need to know before the pain arrives. A budget shows amount, a calendar shows pressure. You need both. Build the baseline before you optimize. After fixed costs and recurring payment, look at variable categories: food, transportation, eating out, personal spending, household item, gifts, health, entertainment, family support, clothing, business cost, random purchases. Do not choose numbers based on who you wish you were. Look at what happened. If groceries was 18,000, 20,000, and 22,000, do not budget 14,000 because you feel motivated tonight. Start with reality, then change behavior. A lower number without a supporting behavior is just guilt in spreadsheet form. If you want food spending lower, what changes? Meal planning, shopping list, fewer delivery orders, bulk purchase, weekly limit, cash envelope or separate account, a planned cooking day. Without a behavior, the number is decoration. This is where many budgets fail. They mistake desire for design. They write the life they want instead of the life the system can currently support. Accuracy comes before optimization. You cannot improve what you refuse to see clearly. Use rules instead of mood. A rule saves energy, a vague intention spends energy. I should spend less on food creates daily negotiation. Delivery only twice a week is clearer. I should save more creates guilt. 10% moves on payday creates structure. I should be careful with bonuses is weak. Every bonus is 50% debt, 30% saving, 20% fun is usable. Rules do not need to be harsh, they need to be clear. A good rule answers the decision before the emotional moment arrives. That is why it works. The moment of desire is worst time to design your financial life. You are biased towards relief, so design before desire. Then let the rule carry the moment. Give every rupee or dollar a job before it gets one from your mood. Unassigned money gets recruited. Convenience recruits it, stress recruits it, friends recruits it, ad recruits it, boredom recruits it, old habit recruits it. If money has no job, the stronger emotion in the room gives it one. So assign money early: bills, saving, debt, investing, spending, buffer, upcoming expense. If there is extra money, decide before it gets absorbed. Extra income does not stay extra for long without a job. It becomes food delivery upgrades, subscription, gift, impulses purchase, and slightly nicer version of things you already bought. This is how people earn more and still feel stuck. The income rose, the system did not. So the lifestyle expanded into the empty space. A raise without a rule often disappears quietly. Before the raise arrives, decide what happens: half to future, half to life, or whatever split fits your situation. The point is to decide before the money becomes normal. Build slack before you chase sophistication. People want to talk about investing before they have breathing room. Investing matters, but if one unexpected expense destroys the month, the first job is slack. A buffer changes the emotional texture of your whole financial life. It gives ordinary problems somewhere to go. A car repair becomes annoying instead of catastrophic. A delayed payment becomes manageable instead of panic. A medical cost becomes a problem instead of a crisis. Slack also improves decision quality. When you are not cornered, you can compare. You can wait, you can negotiate, you can avoid expensive credit, you can think past Friday. This is why wealth looks like discipline from the outside. Sometimes it is discipline, sometimes it is the psychological advantage of not living at the edge. If you have no slack, start small. A week of expense, then 1 month, then more if your situation requires it. Do not despise small buffers. The first buffer is not about becoming rich, it is about reducing panic, and panic is expensive. Review the system, not your worth. At the end of the month, do not ask, am I good or bad with money? That question is useless. Ask better questions. Where did the plan match reality? Where did the plan break? Which category was too low? Which expense was predictable but unplanned? Which purchase was emotional? Which payment timing caused stress? Which rule worked? Which rule was too strict? Which automation needs adjustment? Which leak repeated? This turns money into feedback, not identity. One bad month is data, three repeated months are a pattern. If the same category keeps going over, either the number is unrealistic or the behavior needs support. If saving keeps getting pulled back, the saving account may be too accessible or the budget may have no buffer. If debt payment keeps being delayed, automate the first payment and made extra payment optional. If eating out keeps breaking the plan, create a weekly boundary that acknowledges real life. The review is not punishment, it is maintenance. A money system is not something you build once and worship forever. It needs adjustment. Your income changes, your cost changes, your responsibility changes, your habit changes. The system has to stay alive. The real goal is fewer financial emergencies created by design. A lot of stress comes from treating predictable expenses like surprise, annual subscription, insurance, maintenance, festivals, birthdays, schools cost, travel, medical checkups, device replacement, taxes. These are not emergencies. They are expenses without a place. Create a sinking fund. That simply means saving a little each month for a known future cost. If insurance is 24,000 a year, that is 2,000 a month. If school fees arrives quarterly, divide the amount across the month before they arrive. If festival always cost money, give them a category before they happen. This is not complicated. It is just honest. The more predictable expenses you prepare for, the fewer months feel like attack. The old question was, how do I become more disciplined with money? The better question is, where is my money system forcing me to use discipline too often? Look for the places where you repeatedly fail. That is where the design is weak. If you overspend online, add friction there. If saving disappears, separate and automate them. If bills surprise you, calendar them. If food spending keeps breaking the plan, build a weekly structure. If subscriptions accumulate, create a monthly review. If debt repayment depends on how you feel, create a rule. If income is too low, stop pretending a stricter budget will solve everything and start working on the real gap. The goal is not to remove responsibility. The goal is to place responsibility where it works. Responsibility at the system level is powerful. Responsibility at the daily temptation level is exhausting. Use your best attention to build the structure. Then let the structure protect you when your attention is gone. So, this week, do not rebuild your entire financial life. That is how people create beautiful system they abandon. Make three changes. First, automate one future facing move. Saving, emergency fund, debt, investing, tax set aside, whatever matter most right now. Make it happen after income arrives. Second, separate one category physically. Bills from spending, saving from checking, emergency money from casual money. Do not rely on mental separation. Third, add friction to the spending pattern that keeps beating you. Remove the safeguard, delete the app, set a 24-hour rule, create a weekly limit, require checking the account before buying. Pick the leak you already know exists, then review after 7 days, not with shame, with curiosity. Did the system reduce decisions? Did it make spending more visible? Did it protect money earlier? Did it reduce guilt? Did it reveal a deeper problem? That is how you build financial control, not by becoming a person who never wants things, not by shaving yourself into a stricter month, not by pretending money stress is only mindset. You build control by designing money so right action happens earlier, the wrong action requires more friction, and fewer decision depends on your mood. The best money discipline is not resisting yourself every day, it is designing a system that protects you on the days you cannot resist. Hope you like this training, and if you like this, then let me know what topic next you want me to cover. Until then, see you in the next video.